Hi and welcome everybody to War Talk episode 8. I was trying to do something with my fingers here, it didn't work. Episode 8, Happy Thoughts. Today we're going to be talking about happy things, positive things, things that we think Gaiden is doing good, great, all the good things that we think is War Thunder, all the things we can think that is, you know, these are some things we really like, we really approve of, we really think is stands out and being good. With me, as always, is obviously Classypax, all the way from the other side of the ocean. AverageAdam, out on his little island. And Ecoke, from one of the most neutral countries in the world. How about you tell everybody who you are, Ecoke, what you do, and where they can catch you?
Okay, yeah. Obviously, you can catch me on my channel down below there. I'm streaming sim battles like PAX, but on other timeline. I'm streaming normally from 7:30 to 11 on Central European summertime at the moment.
Over at twitch.tv/ecoke then with
Exactly.
zero instead of an O there, guys, so you don't go to the wrong
Yeah,
channel.
gangsta.
Let's make it easy for people. Like let's put numbers in my nickname, like instead of letters. Never seen anybody do that. All right, that's pretty cool. So sim battles then, and it's airplanes or both tanks and airplanes.
Mostly airplanes. I'm not really into tanking at the moment.
Oh, okay, all right. Airplanes, guys, airplanes.
Airplanes.
Awesome. Today, guys, we will be talking about the positive things, happy thoughts. Who wants to begin? We could have a vote, because Adam knows how those works pretty well.
So, I vote PAX.
You vote PAX?
I vote PAX.
I vote PAX.
Seeing as though he's the odd one out, being all the way over in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. So Europe has a majority vote.
Right.
PAX is the beginner of the show today.
God damn it, Evan, I'm Commonwealth.
Oh, yeah, but I can't have Scream start. He opens up the show entirely. Like, I can't give him all the spotlight.
I'll give it to him. He's earned it.
Wait, what?
All right, fine.
Did you just turn it back on me? No, do not try that. I mirror your thing with my pawn here.
Oh, do you?
Did you guys do that when you were kids? When somebody would point like finger at you, you would
yeah,
mirror,
of course.
Mirror back at you. Maybe it's a European thing.
I think so.
I'm sat here going, no.
Well, you're not part of Europe.
Nope. No, positive light. It's pretty easy to bash anything you're passionate about, obviously, because you want to have the best time possible. You're already having a great time, but you want to fix all those little kinks and tweaks. It's a natural thing humans do with everything that they're passionate about. And it's an easy thing to talk about too, because it's not just what the problem is, but then you also flow into potential solutions and things that you can do to make it better. And it gets very emotional and very heated, and that just comes with just being really passionate. How many times I'm going to say that today? But
we have a passionate
loving something
I
like that.
Now.
Yeah, passionate. 9. So yeah, basically, needless to put aside, you're like, the game has done obviously a lot of things that made us gravitate and stick to it for a very long time. Particular modes, settings, events, things that make us stay and play the game. Obviously, the big one being that it is a free-to-play. Entry level is 0. You don't need to money down to get into it. Free-to-play model. So that's always a nice big plus. And of course, there's monetization things and stuff like that, but you never have to do it. Never, not once. And it's never been, War Thunder's been very good at never having a pay-to-win system implemented into the game. But due to the nature of this game type, it's pretty easy to keep away from something like that, obviously. I mean, like when it comes to shooters, it's a tough battle for those free-to-plays because it's really hard to implement something that doesn't dominate the map, a particular weapon or what have you. But I mean, yeah, when it comes to like things that each of us kind of look for in this game and things that we really like, I mean, some of the things I'm a big fan of is the diversity. of the game, what it covers. We're talking not just talking planes, tanks, and potential boats down the road here. We're talking types of players, from the guys who don't have a lot of free time, or they do have a lot of free time, but they want a game that they can jump into, bring a lot of things to the fight, run around in circles, shooting at each other, getting lots of kills, having a good time. Arcade does an amazing job of this. Big, massive battles in the air. Not so much having to worry about historical accuracies and stuff like that. It's just pure game fun. Then you have like an RB mode, which is a much more competitive version of it, with a much more tighter flight model and stuff like that. And that really feels like the Counter-Strike of the skies or the Counter-Strike of the tanks type of game mode, personally, to me. And then, of course, my personal favorite being sim mode, of where it's not a hardcore sim, definitely, not by a long shot, but it is the best game to get into sim when it comes to people who are wanting to try out like a combat flight sim or something like that. War Thunder is the #1 best game if you want to get into that type of game mode. It's free. It's very forgiving. You don't have to learn the ins and outs of every single plane when it comes to their engine components and engine management. The game takes care of that for you. There's a HUD in the top left corner that if you wish to not learn gauges, it's there. It's a very, very forgiving game for getting into that. And
Sim?
Yeah, they re-added it.
They re-edited it? Okay.
But we're doing happy thoughts, so I can't talk about that. But
great.
aside from that, the amount of people that I've met through this, like, that's the reason I even started streaming, was to meet people in this game, because I started playing it, fell in love with it, got into sim mode, and I didn't know anybody there, really. I knew a couple guys from this one NNG group, but I didn't know anybody. And streaming seemed like the best medium to engage one-on-one with people. And so far, it's been absolutely astounding. Absolutely astounding. And it's a very tight niche community, obviously, but it's a very close community. We're all very passionate about this game mode, and yeah, just like I was talking about earlier about how you can get really riled up about the things you don't like, but that just the further infuses how much more you love this game if you're going to go links on end, Doc, talking about things you don't like and potential fixes to them. That just naturally happens. So all in all, where this game sits within other games of flight games, whatever like that, it's a perfect stepping stone, the best stepping stone, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah, and
Yep. Go, Ekok.
I think it's also cool for people who aren't really into flying, because the arcade mode is more like just point and shoot, like, I don't know, Counter-Strike, Battlefield, whatever. You don't really have to know how to fly a plane, so it's a really good step to get into such a game. And then, like me, I got in and then moved to realistic and then further to simulator, and now I'm even searching for other simulator games. So it's quite a good step from there.
A stepping stone.
to yeah, exactly.
I just want to bring back a point that Pax made at the beginning, where you don't need to put any money down. When I first started playing, I have to agree with that statement quite strongly, because I managed to get all the way to jets without having to pay a single penny. I mean, it took a while, obviously, but it didn't feel like as much of a grind as, say, World of Tanks. I was always making money. Like, I never felt like the aim was like you have to spend money on me. Like you have to have premiums. You have to have all this stuff. I feel like it wasn't forced upon me. It was something that if I want it to be, 2 times faster, then here you go. But it wasn't something like World of Tanks where premium ammo is quite widely used. It didn't feel like I needed any of those things, which was really nice for somebody who obviously came into a free-to-play model, didn't have a load of money to throw at a game. It was nice that there was a game that didn't require, as Pac said, like any kind of money to kind of get it going. So I that's why I got into the game, because I felt like I was always progressing. I was getting planes, and I was enjoying the game. Being the arcade guy I was, just enjoying the crazy combat and loads of cool fun rewards. Back to that point where I didn't feel like there's a lot of money that needs being thrown at the game.
It also has to know that, comparing World of Tanks, I mean, to know the Gaijin didn't go down the whole pure money burning rounds of where you're spending money on shells that deplete. So that money is technically it gets thrown away. You don't keep it. Unlike this game where the money transfers toward either a premium, which is just an overall grinder, but it's done by days and not by an ammo. So you don't choose. It's a set fixed, or you get something permanent, whether it be a premium tank or a premium plane, and that's yours to keep.
Yeah.
Compared to World of Tanks.
Whatever you spend money on in this game, you in one way or another get to keep. All money spent in this game is you keep the value in a way. Like, because if you the only thing that I think you can spend money on where you could argue that, okay, I spend money on this and now I won't see that money again, is when you spend it on premium account. However, you gain those
and
extra,
backups.
Yeah, backups.
Backups.
But
which,
now you can win them. So
you can win them.
You can win them.
You can win them now. Now you can win them.
So
So
you spend
that
money
the last.
on-
Oh, yeah.
You spend money on premium, and for those who do argue that, well, that is money never seen again, you still earn that quicker and more XP and RP. So in that way, it kind of gets reinvested into your account in a way. I think that's how I see it. At least.
I think that the pay model is really fair.
Because there is no pay to, as Pax said, there is no, sure, the Calliope was OP for the first 5 minutes it was introduced, but like we discussed last week, it was quite quickly sort of fixed, or maybe something was wrong, but so there's nothing in the game that you can say definitively, oh, that thing's more OP than anything else. Like the T28 is just a slight different variation of the T95. Like you could, they're the same practically tank, they're just slightly different. Like there's nothing in this game where you could say definitively that is more OP than anything else in the game. Like this is what you should be spending your money on. Like it's more, oh, you could buy a premium tank if you like, say, heavy tanks, then maybe buy the Tiger P1. Alternatively, if you like tank destroyers, buy the Russian one. Like it's more personal preference over, oh well, this thing's really great for grinding because it's OP and nothing can stop it. It's more, which one do you prefer? And I think that's really nice. Sure, they might only be slight variations, like with the whole victory pack thing, but at least it's not like something that's grossly OP. And I quite like them because they come with like little decals. Like I really liked the M46 Tiger, because now I've got that Tiger camo. I've put it on everything, every Tiger, every tank. So I just like it. I like how it looks.
Oh, you get the camouflage too?
Yeah, the
nice.
on the Cobra King, the decals. You can take them off.
Tiger paw template.
I like it. It's quite cute. Like it's something dumb, but I mean I kind of figured it out that it would be kind of separate once I got the Cobra King, and you can take off like the Cobra King. Like I don't really like that one, but I like the little tiger, so I put the tiger on it instead. Now every tank has a tiger.
All right. What is there, like any single more? Can we point at anything that you guys think is good with the game? You mentioned diversity and demographic there, Pax. Like that's one of the things that I think is really interesting with this game. Is like when I asked Ecoke to introduce himself, I asked him, well, do you play airplanes or do you play tanks or both? Because you will have, I feel like, those demographics where some people came to War Thunder when they released ground forces, as they call it, or, I mean, most people just say tanks, even though we have other vehicles, obviously, but ground forces, a lot of people came to the game interested in that game mode. And you have the people who've been here since, airplanes and who play airplanes. And obviously we'll always have the people that go between, or like me, who play both. But I can definitely see and feel that there is people who only prefer one of each. But I think that's still a strong point. It's one game, it's one client, it's one install, and here we have, not only do we have 3 different, like, what do you call it, like realism settings where you have arcade, realistic, and sim, but you also have, well, eventually in the future we're gonna have 3 different entire, like, I like to say demographics. I'm trying to think of the word, but it's obviously different gameplays entirely. Either you fly the airplanes, do all that stuff, you drive the ground forces, or you eventually do ship battles. And yeah, I think it's cool to have it all under one hood. And I'm trying to figure out like how big is the community eventually going to be in a total, with all those things in the same engine, in the same game. You know, I'm still waiting for them to eventually maybe even split up the forums into like 2 different websites, but they haven't done that. I don't think they will, but I mean the forums are very, very big as they are.
And I think that's what really pushes it past anything that's sort of ever come out before, or anything like Armored Warfare is going to be released quite soon, and that's kind of like World of Tanks, just with more modern tanks.
Okay.
But even then, that's just tanks. Like that. Like they could say they might have planes, but I don't think so. Like
It doesn't seem to be in their
I
pipeline.
don't think that's anywhere near their agenda. But like as you said, War Thunder has everything under one roof. Like even if the guys who play tanks never play aeroplanes, not even if the guys who play aeroplanes never play tanks, like they're all together and they have that choice. Like it's so much nice to be able to be given that choice. That, oh, you could play tanks if you wanted, and you're not going to lose any of your premium, any of the lions you've earned, any of the experience you saved up. You can just move that from, like, I've got 12,000 crew points saved up, ready for when British planes come out. That's just on one crew. That won't max it out, but it will give me a damn good boost at the beginning, and I love that. I love being able to go, do you know what? I'm not great in tanks. I'm great in planes. I can grind my planes to get some money, and then maybe grind a few tanks to get the research that I need, and then bam, I can then move from a tank that I might not enjoy to a tank that I do enjoy, and vice versa. Like if Japanese tanks came out, I might be able to grind some of my crews up, get some extra lions, get my crews to a nice standard, you know, get some more vitality, and then go. I'm ready to play planes now because I feel like my crews are at that standard, and I feel like being able to sort of did I say planes?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, British tanks. Whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Everybody knew what you mean. That's why it's okay.
But I can just move that experience.
Isn't that nice? That's great. Like you can actually
what-
save up. That's a pro tip to anyone watching: is that you can save up the.
People laughed at me. People
They
laughed
did.
at me when I first said that.
They
I
did.
was like, they were like, "Why do you have so many crew points?" And I'm like, I'm going to use it for my tanks. Like, you can't do that. And I'm like, damn straight, I'm going to give it a go though. When it came out, I was like, practically max crews rolling around, enjoying myself, fastest reload. Nobody was like, how have you already maxed out your crews? And I was like, saved it up. And they were like, you could do that? I was like, I've been telling you guys this for months. I predicted that.
Adam did predict that. And I think that's nice. And you're not going to be unique next time, Adam. When the British tanks come, everybody's been like, I saw Adam save up his points. I will also save up my points.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you, there is nobody that has 12,000 British crew points ready to go as soon as that comes out.
That's a lot of crew points.
That's a lot of crew points.
That's a lot of crew points.
And when I hear any whisper of British tanks, I'm going to be playing British planes. Even though I've maxed them out, I'm going to be playing British planes. And I'm going to be grinding 3 crews just for that reason. They're going to be the most researchable crews that have ever been researched when the tanks come out.
That's kind of nice, though. I like that.
It is.
And it is a strong point. It's one of those where, oh, we're releasing new content. Oh, you don't have to start over again with the grind or anything. Other than the tech trees, obviously. You have to start unlocking the vehicles. Go figure. I mean, I would actually say it would have been a bad thing if you I already have everything researched, but it's more the fact that you can save up those experience points for each crew and go like, oh, well, now I have tank crews and now they have different abilities and now I can already like train them quickly here. It's like accelerated training without having to spend any money.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one of the good with the free-to-play model then. Like, would have War Thunder, what do you guys think? Would War Thunder have been a good game if it were buy-to-play?
Not in this development method. It's a very organic development method. It's going to have,
Yeah.
for the over 260, 270 more than that planes that are in the game, and then adding tanks, then boats. For them to package that all up and then throw it on a shelf for $60. We're talking about a very long development cycle, and then publishers and big investors and stuff like that, and try to make it AAA. You would never get a game with this much content like
Everything
that.
would have been probably
in that type
DLCs then that you would had to buy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that would have
it
been,
would be like the German DLC, the British DLC, the US DLC. I mean, it wouldn't work for the amount of stuff that they have to create because it's an iteration development of just progress, and as long as money keeps going toward them, they can keep fueling that and keep building more stuff for the game.
Is there a date when the planes will come out of beta?
We talked about this with the beta thing. Now, the thing is that there is no technical on it. It's all we know is that the beta tag has been removed.
Okay.
It doesn't say beta in the launcher anymore.
They have not come out and said that we are, because in original terminology, I mean, alpha is technically still building core developments of the game and stuff like that, and really honing out what the game is going to be. And beta is technically refining, bug smashing, stuff like that. Since we are missing a whole third of the game, technically it's an alpha. Technically, if you're talking about the traditional terms of alpha, beta, and stuff like that. So, but this is a different type of game development that doesn't really work with. This is kind of like the loss in translation thing we were talking about when it comes to like technology and keywording. But it's progressive development, and it's funded by the community. As weird and corny as that sounds, as long as money's flowing into the company, they will keep putting money. They'll keep putting content where the money's going, and they'll keep further iterating the game, polishing out, rounding out each nation. Because right now we are, what I wouldn't say 2/3, definitely not, but we're getting there. We already have 3 of the 5 nations of tanks, which will soon be 6 nations. People tend to forget that from time to time when Italy gets in there.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot of stuff hitting the floor here in the years to come, and it's not showing any signs of slowdown. The only signs of slowdown are maybe the amount of people that play it because they just take a break from it, let things release. And that's the beauty about this game, is that due to the way that its monetization is incorporated, and due to its design, way they build the game, is that it's going to feel like it's never ending. So there's always going to be something fresh around the corner. So you can just drop this game for months, come back, and all of a sudden you're looking at new UI. Hey, what the heck? What happened to my 20 ranks? How come we're only looking at 6 now? And
I did that. I dropped the game at,
and that's probably going to be like that for a while. I mean, like, even right up till boats. I mean, it's just, there's going to be people that are going to drop away because, when you play a lot of one particular game, you're going to fatigue yourself. What's going to happen? You can get pretty frustrated with the game. Like, if you just keep playing the same thing over and over again, it doesn't feel quite as new. It doesn't have that shiny coat feeling to it. You go off and do other things, you'll come back, and for the amount of the guidance has been changing the game over time, it's going to feel like a nice fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
At least I think it will.
I think it's there's no point in ever calling this game a beta. I've never sold this game to a person by telling them, "Oh well, it's still beta."
Yeah.
This is one of the free-to-play games out there, just like most MOBAs and pretty much any free-to-play game that is expecting to do decently well, which needs to be under constant development. They need to be adding new things at a decent rate. So pretty much, it's never like Gaijin's gonna be like, guys, we're now done with War Thunder, we're finished, so we're now gonna walk away from this and make something else. It's like, no, that's not gonna happen, because this is gonna be for as long as there is a healthy player base for this game. They want to nurture that and keep this producing money for them, obviously.
That's what me attracted to the game. It's just the pure amount of vehicles you can unlock. Now it's in Germany. It's at the moment for me. It's the ME262, and now on Britain they released the Sea Tree or the Naval Tree, and I'm like, oh, I have to get that Sea Fury. And as long as they add that stuff, and that like Adam said in the last War Talk, it's it's just like goodies. I have to take them. I want to fly them, and I think that's one big point of War Thunder, just the pure amount of stuff you can fly and drive.
The one problem with it,
also
actually, you know, Eco comes from a good point there. Is it in the sim? A lot of people talk about authenticity, realistic of flight models, and quality and detail of flight models and stuff like that. And if you're comparing, and it's unfair to compare this game to things like DCS and IL-2, because those games come with a handful of planes. I mean, we're talking like 10 planes in IL-2, something like that. I don't know the exact amount. I own the game. I don't even know the exact amount, but because it don't really matter much. But it's just a handful of planes. Yeah, it's a handful of planes, and they are very detailed. They're very detailed aircraft, flight models, physics, absolutely astounding in that game. But that's the old argument of quality over quantity. I think we know where War Thunder sits. They have variety, quantity. Now, obviously, I mean, to go through all of those planes and have it so everyone's peaches and cream and happy, and the physics are absolutely astounding, and damage models and fully detailed cockpits and switches. I mean, that's just it might be asking a little too much for when it comes to financial reasons to develop all that. It might be a little bit unfair. I mean, from what I see, it's a little fluffy. It does have its kinks in the system, but it's not like you're unable to take that plane up in the air. You're unable to fly this thing because you just can't even access it. Crashes the game. We don't have that issue at all. It's just because it might have just a little weirdest tweak in the fly model, stuff like that, but everything is still flyable, everything is still playable, and you can still have fun doing whatever the heck you're in. Like these new Fireflies. A whole brand new of Navy line planes. I've never ever seen any of these planes before in a game. And the Fireflies in Sim are absolutely horrendous.
Really?
That makes me sad.
When here, I'll paint the picture, Adam. Imagine a Firefly on deck trying to catch up to a Zero, because the Zero's faster.
Good luck.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel salty.
But that's fine.
Is that even though it's upgraded?
It's a Griffin-engined plane with another person in the back seat. So it's basically like a reconnaissance plane with guns. But it doesn't matter. Even though it's outperformed by almost everything in its battle rating, it's still an incredibly unique and fun plane to fly.
Oh, you're talking about the Mark 1?
Both. The Mark 1 and the 5. The 5's got more ammo and a higher BR, and it goes against even tougher enemies. But nonetheless, it's just cool the fact that they even added that. A whole Navy line of planes. Just boom, a whole entire new tree for you to grind, unlock, and fly, and just enjoy it, even if it's not the greatest. Just the fact that they can even add that many planes across the board, that many nations, even if some are prototypes and stuff like that. Just that feeling of getting in, taking it up for a spin, learning its limits, and even if it does have a nasty counterpart or a certain bug or glitch or fallacy of it, you're still having that privilege and enjoyment of actually taking out something like that and actually experiencing it. That's something.
And still for free.
Still for free. I can't stress that enough. No. It's not like DCS where they bring out a new K4 or some new plane and you have to spend like $40 on it.
Yeah.
But it's detailed.
It is very detailed. Those cockpits are amazing.
It's impeccable, but like I was saying, quality over quantity. These guys are dumping mass amounts of new toys at you for you to play it for free. And those other games, like, yeah, you're spending a good chunk, but you're going to get a ridiculously detailed thing. So it's a balancing act between the two. And I think Warner's doing fine.
Because when you compare to DCS, I don't, you know, it's how to say this? Like, I guess it's quality over quantity, but it's the balancing of it. It's you know, when DCS release a new airplane and you have to spend money on it, it's like you said, it's a whole different ball game. Obviously, it's just so different. I like to compare War
DCS, when you're playing, it's funny thing about DCS is like when you're buying planes in DCS and the way the DCS is created as a game, you're buying a game.
Yeah, right.
That's DCS.
You get missions with it too, right? You get like
when you're buying a plane, you're buying a whole new game of a plane because how much you have to understand everything about that game. It becomes its own little meta game within DCS because you are now playing 109K4 DCS. You're now playing, a Frogfoot DCS. For the amount of quality you get, because you have to learn how to do all the switches and gears, how to take off everything. It becomes it's pretty much a drop of quantity worthy of calling itself like a little game.
I like to compare War Thunder with MMOs in the sense that it's gonna be around. I mean, it feels like they're doing good, right? Like they're still here, they're developing, they seem to be doing all right. It's obviously hard to be pointing exactly as how good they're doing since we don't have official numbers, but we can assume that War Thunder is doing all right. And with that, this is one of those games that 5 years from now we're gonna be sitting there like they're about to release some new ships. Like they'll be releasing content for quite a while. I feel like it's gonna be around for quite a while. It's gonna be like WoW in the sense that they'll be around for quite a while. It's an MMO. If anything, I feel the next step will be maybe. Didn't League do that? Like they pretty much built a whole new engine, and eventually they're like, all right, here's a new engine.
Yeah. How old is World of Tanks?
Ooh.
I think that thing is here for ages, and I think those are pretty comparable.
World of
War
Tanks,
Thunder is
August 12th, 2010.
okay. So
again, on 5 years.
Yeah.
Over 5 years.
And there's still a really big amount of people playing it. So I think for War Thunder that's a good thing. And they have somehow nearly the same concept. I think World of Tanks is also adding all the time new tanks and stuff, just to keep the community happy.
I mean, I don't follow World of Tanks, that much. But I know they've recently added a few tanks. But I feel like their patches and updates are much further apart than than what War Thunders are. I mean, it wasn't that long since American tanks were introduced at all, and we've gone from like patch 1.5, 1.43 to patch 1.45. Like they were pretty quick. They went from we had American tanks, then we had some extra cool little tanks like the mouse and things, and then we've gone on to patch 1.70, like quite quickly, like within a few months of each other. Like all.
I
these
want
new
you
things.
because we just did Victory over Europe. I want you just to pay attention to that and then look at the numbers.
What? Crap.
Okay, what's the patch notes? What was the patch called? 1.70 what? 1945?
1945, yeah.
What just happened?
The
70
day
years.
70
70
since the Russians.
1940. Oh, you figured it out.
Yeah, I know. What? Like you were speaking of bloody riddles. Like, yeah, it's to commemorate the victory of Russia and.
They're making a big deal of it. They're making
I
a
know.
big deal of a victory over. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that changing the patch note because that's what they're celebrating. And as you said, they talked about reverting back to 1.49. This is only assuming, but I'm guessing once this special is done, they'll convert it down to whatever, or converted the number back to whatever it was. They're just doing a commemoration thing, which is awesome. By the way, we haven't even talked about.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
50% off premium.
No, what I was saying is that
Yeah.
all the cool things we've had, like in quite a short span of time, like American tanks, American TDs, British naval line, all in a rather short space of time. Like only a few months apart from each other. Like quite regular updates. With all these cool new toys that we get to all play with and touch and grab. Just going back to the whole, I spoke about it last week with all the touchy and feely. Like we we also don't always forget. Like we say, oh, every patch changes something. Like RP gain or line gain or RP requirements for certain tanks, but we don't ever say all the cool stuff that gets added, like all the crazy amounts of like the entire British naval line, the entirety of not the entirety, but a whole new naval line, a whole new American tank destroyer line. Like
You should probably mention them to everybody in chat about that. Like, when it comes like all that content up, stuff like that too. And then we were talking about this, about what you do with that premium, with that 50% off. Like, if anyone's ever thought about getting premium, like, this is the best time to do it.
Oh yeah.
there is. I mean, I mean, yes, it is 50% off right now as premium.
So why wouldn't it be a good time to get it now?
Because
they do this.
they
like,
do it
right
every
now,
year.
They do it every year. If you buy for half off an annual worth of premium, by the time it comes around next year to renew it, there's going to be another sale.
But I don't think because normally when they renew it, normally when they do the 50% off premium, it's more around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when mine is renewed. Is sort of around
Well,
Christmas.
when did I get mine then? Because mine is running out in 50 days.
I have no idea. You might have got.
What did they do? What did they do 50 days from now?
I don't know.
Summer sale?
Well, that's why I'm worried. I kind of want to.
Thing is, Scream, with that, you have to remember, did you buy any other packs or premium things or aircrafts that brought on a little extra couple days of premium?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Those accumulate.
Yeah. It accumulates. Well, I'm thinking about, since I have 50 days of premium left on my account, I'm thinking about jumping on and buying another year now. So I'll have, 365 days plus my 50 then. And there will probably be some bundles in the future anyway, so yeah.
A guy in chat mentioned a good question. I think it was mindless something, mindless worker. He asked about the gameplay. What we liked most about the gameplay. For me, it's
that's specific.
Yeah. Yeah. For me in Sim, it's just. I mean, if you play like, I don't know, IL-2, you have to fly quite a long time till you get a little piece of action. And in War Thunder, it's just like such a small map. It keeps on having action everywhere.
Even in Sim, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not always. Sometimes you're chasing the last guy for like 20 minutes, but other than that, it's really good. But what's with you guys? What do you like?
Well, as an arcade scrub, of course, as Pac said right at the beginning, with everybody having a game mode they can like, arcade has to be the whole. I can go into a game, or like taking off and landing isn't a problem, but you're already in the air, you're ready to go, you can just dive in, you can get like 7 or 8 kills, and you can you can just go into a crazy death ball. You got adrenaline because you're just like worried about the dude behind you, the dude in front of you, the dude beside you. You got like 20 dudes splattering around all over the place, and it's just like, how am I ever going to survive that situation? And when you go in and you get like 5 to 10 kills, you come out and you survive, and you're like, how the hell did I survive that? And you're just elated by the fact that you've managed to do something crazy and stupid, but somehow survive it. Just makes arcade for me just amazing. That's why I like arcade, and that's why it's my favorite game mode. Like I have nothing against the other two game modes. Like I like, if I get really annoyed, I do like the whole slower style of RB, being able to take off, climb, and pick very specific targets and don't get too aggressive. Like I like that style, but when it comes to me personally, I like being able to just go in, splatter a few people and leave.
Yeah, it's easy to learn, or at least start playing War Thunder. Now it's so difficult though for me to think about this, because it used to be that you would start playing War Thunder and there was only airplanes. So most people would start with arcade airplanes, which Eco said earlier, it's point and click, right? I mean, arcade, if anything, is easy to learn and hard to master. And then obviously taking the step to realistic battles in airplanes, that's a whole different thing. You might actually even want to have some people giving you advice on what to do, how to do it, even though obviously a Google search will tell you to climb, and climb. but you know, that's just kind of the basic of it. But I'm actually curious too. I wonder how the day one experience of tanks is in, if you're new to War Thunder today and you pick up tanks as your first thing. I'm really curious to how that experience would be for people. Because I mean, it has arcade. It seems simple enough. But I don't know. It didn't feel like I don't know. I can't remember my experience with it really. It felt so natural going over to it somehow. I don't know. It took me a long time though to actually appreciate tanks. At the beginning of tanks, I know I was really like, okay, I will probably not play this. And now I'm playing it a lot. So I'm curious about that. I'm curious how people have what their first experience with War Thunder is. But I feel it's an easy game to get into though. It's easy to pick it up, play it, and then it's about your mindset and what you're looking for. Because I'm afraid that if people they pick up War Thunder and expecting a flight sim to begin with, because it's not that freaking intuitive to actually get into sim on your first day. So I'm not sure. But I like the gameplay. The gameplay is good overall. Like if we're just looking at gameplay mechanics and stuff, we have different game modes and type of maps with different objectives, and some people like more and some people like less. I happen to be one of those who kind of seem to enjoy most of them and the mix of them, except air domination, which it's so-so. Even though every time I get into one, that's in arcade obviously, every time I get into an air domination map, I seem to complain and be like, oh, I hate this, and then I seem to be doing really well. So I don't know. I just don't like it, but I do well in it. Yeah. I like it though. Like I like the variety. I like the fact that people can get their different flavors. I'm really curious to like what people pick up War Thunder for today when they have the choice of tanks or planes. Like, I would like to see stats. Like, what do people start first? Like, do they start airplane or do they start tanks? That would be nice to know. I wish I knew. What do you guys think?
Probably a lot of tankers, obviously, because of other games already out there.
Yeah.
Tanks
And
seems
it's
to
the
be
freshest
pushing.
thing to the game.
Yeah. Tanks seem to be
also,
still
if
pretty
you-
hot on the market. The industry seems to be liking
If
tanks.
you look at the Twitch streams,
Relatively.
I think there are more than half of the streamers are playing tanks.
Oh, that's a good way to look. That's a good place to get some stats, I guess. If you look at what people stream. Interesting. Didn't think about that. You're saying that most people stream tanks.
Yeah, at least the last several times I was looking.
It is like the new stuff to grind, right?
Right.
If
that's
there's a
true.
couple guys in there who've been playing for a long time, they might be almost done planes. I mean, some people out there are done planes. Like everything unlocked. And tanks is the new front. So there's lots to do. There's always something to do. Like, what is it? I've been doing this spade thing where I'm trying to spade. For those who don't know what that means, it's that little ace of spades beside your vehicle. That means you have unlocked all modifications. The plane's officially as good as it's going to get. Performance and unlocks and all that stuff. And I've been trying to spade every plane in the game. Basically, across the board, tier 4, almost completely done, and then starting to get into jets. So there's always something to do.
Yeah. I guess you're right about
And
the
also, if
planes.
they add new stuff.
Yeah, that messed up
You're
my.
not
damn-
going to
that
add.
messed up my. I had to go back down to tier 1 for some things. It's like, damn it. And then certain planes get different like tweaks and fixes, or remove this modification, or add a different bomb load, and you have to go back and get those. And so there's always something to do.
Yeah, I mean, as I just said, like they always bring out new cool things to grind, new cool things to touch and play with. Like even though I played a long time. I mean, I could have been way more efficient, but I'm not one of those people who do enjoy spading. Like I grinded a lot of the naval line with only a few aircraft, but they are aircraft that I enjoy flying. Like I didn't feel the need to play the Seafire or the Fury Mark 1 and Mark 5. Like I just didn't want to. Like it wasn't that I didn't feel like I was going to enjoy them. I was like, I am currently doing well in the aircraft I'm flying, and I just want to use those aircraft. But once I got that Sea Fury, all hands were off. I wanted to fly that thing like nobody's business, even though it was terrible to begin with. That grind was well worth it, and I feel like that's another nice satisfaction is when you do eventually get all the cool upgrades for that plane or the tank, and it's finally the
Now, Adam, you have to agree with me here a little bit.
Go on.
But when you've been playing the game as long as like some of us have,
Hello.
and we're hello, hi.
No. I was saying hello
Yeah.
as long as we have, and I went hi. I wanted to be in that
God
cool club.
Okay.
Sorry.
But no, but like guys like you and I have been playing this game for like all of us here technically in this chat in this podcast. You've been playing this game for a while, and you're working on like a lot of the tier 4 and tier 5 stuff, and you do start to feel that grind. It is the end game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they have these new content jumps, sometimes you forget to realize how not bad it actually is. Like the first 2 rounds after the patch, all the new planes, and I think I unlocked 5 in like a round and a half vehicles. And then when you start playing the tier 2 and 3 ones and just trying to spade them, like you would unlock half their things in one match.
Yeah.
So you tend to forget how actually forgiving it is at the beginning. Like at the beginning they flood you with stuff. You're just unlocking stuff. Every round you're unlocking. You feel like you're unlocking stuff, and you get to tier 3, then you can watch the progression naturally go pretty quick. Tier 4, that progression just didn't move much that round, and then tier 5's like, did that even add a pixel to it?
I definitely agree.
But you do have to appreciate that, like, there is, due to the year gap of the game from like pre-World War II to Korea, and what it takes to unlock stuff off the get-go, it's not that bad. And then,
you
to
unlock
keep
stuff
you
like nothing.
and then to keep you in the game for the long run is the jets and unlocking those last final things and the late post-war tanks and stuff like that. So you tend to sit back and realize, like, it's not that bad. I mean, that is end game. That's the point of it. That's the podium pieces, the accomplishments, the look what I unlocked, and having those titles and stuff like that, showing how much you've dedicated to this game, the time into this game. Like, so seeing someone flying around with their little ace title on their plane, for example, like, holy cow, that guy shot down that many people, stuff like that. Or Master of Disguise, that guy's grinded and unlocked over 100 custom skins or skins for his planes, things like that, little bragging right things. And those things are neat. They do take time, they do take effort, and it can sometimes feel fatiguing, but it's also the reward factor that you have to consider into for it, that sense of accomplishment.
When you said about the whole grinding, I have to say my favorite achievement to date in War Thunder was getting all of that naval line in a day. Like
in a day.
In a day.
Wow, I'm impressed, dude. I'm still not even near done.
But I dedicated. What?
Yeah. Well, what's that like? I mean, because I didn't play a whole day, but I played I did half that line in seriously a handful of matches. Like I was agreeing with what Pax said. Like the first couple of plays just went like,
it took probably 8 to 10 hours to get to tier. No, less than that. Probably 6 hours maybe to get to the Sea Fury, and then the rest of it was honestly the jet. The jet was the longest part.
Oh,
so
of course.
I have to agree with the jet part, but it's doable. Like when I was skeptical when they first introduced the tier 5 system, that they were like, oh yeah, well, it's pretty quick to get there. Doing it in a day, I have to say that it is doable. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty dumb, but
it's very hard to do. But you
can
tell that you could tell that people can. You know that people can do it, and it's very rewarding when they do it. You go to Reddit, like the first day and the second day after the big patch, and you see like the topic, I did it. And there's a picture of the unlocked of the new Arado and stuff like that. Right?
I gotta say, I don't know, when I was flying around in the Fury Fire and Sea Fury, and people were like, oh wow, have you paid for that? Like, have you thrown eagles at that? How many eagles have you spent today? And I was like, none. Like, literally none. And it was like, how long have you been playing this game? I was like, 6 hours. And they're like, damn. Like, but
still,
so I question how many people, when like, a lot of people will probably, like, when the mouse came out, there were people with the mouse as soon as I jumped on. And I was like, those people have definitely thrown golden eagles at that.
Oh, yeah.
And if people want to do that, that is completely fine. I have like
like
if you want to be that
vehicle.
first person, exactly, it's like buying a premium vehicle.
Yeah.
If you want to be that first person to drive out onto that field and do it, hands down, you're going to have some crazy advantage because people are going to see that thing and have no idea. Like people, even I was like, I don't have no idea how to deal with this thing. Like I was just befuddled the first time I saw it. I was like, I'm just going to get killed. I'm just going to have to accept it and figure it out. But seeing that thing for the first time, like being like at that tier at that time, was just amazing.
Money, I would do it. I would
right?
fucking buy it right away.
But being able to grind that entire tier, I have to agree, it's the reason I say it's dumb is because, like Pax said, you can get fatigued. Like even if you love something, like if you just do something that crazy and that like just throw like 17 hours into something and you finally do it, it's just fatigue that sort of goes like it was a pretty
you feel like you're
silly.
putting so much effort in there.
Right.
Adam's like
battle. You get to that end screen there, and you look at the progress, and it's like a pixel. You're just
Yeah,
like,
and you're
really?
just like,
Really?
Adam's like, he got the
Best
jet.
round of my
and then-
life.
Adam's like,
but
he got
when I
the
got
jet.
that jet, I was like, I flew it, and it was amazing. Like it's not the greatest jet in the
was
game, but
amazing.
oh my god, it is pretty sexy. Like that when those flaps are out and the air brake is out, it's a pretty sexy looking jet. But holy moly, like I would not recommend doing it in one day, but it is plausible. So
But
when it did
you
first come
proved a good point when you did that. I was thinking about that when I saw you grinding through that one line of airplanes. When I hear people like, oh, it takes forever to unlock and get anywhere, or it's like, well, I mean, a day of playing, which people are sitting at home like a whole Saturday. It's a Saturday, a whole Saturday or a Sunday or whatever day off work or school they have, or every day after school maybe they'll be coming home and they'll be like just playing game after game after game. I mean, it doesn't take that very long to actually get like somewhere on those tech trees if you set a goal.
Yeah, well,
and I mean a goal. I don't mean like, oh, but I want to unlock everything. I'm just saying like, oh, I want that plane on line 5. You can just go straight to it nowadays instead of how it used to be. So I feel like at least Adam proved the point of like, I mean, you can go down a line or get to certain planes if you want to. I think the problem is in arcade where people, but I want to bring 5 airplanes of the same battle rating. It's like, oh well, then yes, it's gonna take a bit longer.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, and
that's the
also
problem.
for the people new to the game, I mean, we are all flying. I think at tier 4 or 5, and it's really easy to unlock. I think until tier 3, the new planes.
Yeah, 1, 2,
while
3
flying.
goes quick.
Yeah, while flying higher tier, but for people who are starting, so are flying tier 2 planes, unlocking tier 2 planes, it can get really annoying.
But that's how Adam did it.
Yeah, I mean that's
how the most effective way
most
of
of
doing
us
it.
did it.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that's the most effective too. Like if you bring
the most if you're going to do that, like grinding tier 4 with a tier 1 aircraft is not going to happen. Like you have to have the tier 1 or the same tier or one above or one below. Like you can't use like you can't use a jet
to unlock tier 2.
a tier 1 because it does say, and if you use the meteor, you get like 100 and like if you were to use the meteor Mark 8, you get 100 plus 100 bonus RP to do it. But you can only research tier 4 and tier 5. If you were to do that, you would obviously get that plane pretty quick. So I mean, if you were to do it, like my recommendation would be if you wanted to grind something like an entire tech tree really fast, get a tier 4 premium because they do tier 1 to tier 5.
Oh, okay.
They are the only rank that will do literally every plane in the game. And I have to say I did buy a Japanese premium because I have literally no Japanese planes. I now have tier 4 Japanese planes. Like everybody was like, wow, you actually have loads of Japanese planes. What? You said you never played Japan.
I did it
fucking
in one
bought
day.
I did it in one day. Bought 2 Japanese premiums. Like if you were serious about grinding, you just need 1 tier 4 of anything. A tier 4, like the Germans have like an amazing tier 4 tank. The Panzer, the Tiger P. Like none of these things are crazy OP, but if you wanted something that was efficient in grinding, that would be my recommendation. Like you just need one thing. Like in water tanks, you need like a tier 1, a tier 4, a tier 8, light, medium, heavy for all your different crews and stuff. You just need one thing. Done. There you go. Adam's grinding recommendation.
Alrighty then.
And also, I do know how to grind without a premium account. The only reason I got a premium account was because it was my birthday, and that's where this whole yearly cycle has begun. Of I get a premium every year because it's near my birthday.
Yeah,
that's
Adam. I mean, it's so hard. Like people come in and they see someone have a premium, but Adam used to not have premium.
Mm-hmm.
He grinded.
Yes,
he grinded. What was it like? All the British jets without premium.
Yep. And that's probably where I could have, like, if I'd had a premium from the get go, I think I would have every jet in the game.
No.
Like, only like it's basic. Like it did take me a lot longer to do. Like there's no denying not having a premium account is like you can do it. As I said, you can do it.
If you
like
put
it's
in
not,
enough hours.
If you put in enough hours.
It's just about the time that you have to
Right.
invest. Is what it is. But we are gonna have a short break, and we'll be back after that. We'll see what these guys in this podcast thinks about the control settings and some other positive things or other things that we think is good with this game. And we'll also have a look at what Jingle's been up to during this week in Jingles Watch. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't make me nervous here.
Yeah, don't do it, Pax.
What are you guys talking about? Are you making Ecoke nervous now? And by the way, we're back.
Hey.
Stop making the guest nervous. Stop it. Are they bullying you, Ecoke?
No.
Do
They're
it.
all cool
All the
guys.
cool kids are
Just
doing it.
introductory
Popular.
war talk ritual.
Like they do at university, where they force people to do weird shit, right? I don't know. I haven't been to university. I just know they do. I don't know what you call it in English. In Swedish, it's nollning.
Freshers week.
Oh yeah.
Initiation.
Initiation. That's it. All right.
Initiation, yeah.
All right. So
There we
what
go.
we need you to do, Ecoke, is take off your shirt, stand against the wall, and close your eyes.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh damn it.
You're gonna lose half the viewers of that.
I don't know, man. Those Swiss upper bodies. I hear you guys live. I mean, you live in the mountains, right? You gotta be freaking buff and all. You know,
Well, I'm
for
streaming, so I'm
for
sitting
climbing.
in my room,
You're
and
sitting-
no sunlight and all.
The best kind of streaming. No sunlight. Curtains closed. Perfect.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I got my
awesome.
neon lights here, so.
You have neon
Oh.
lights. Oh god.
I just got some crappy ceiling light.
All right, it's time for Jingles Watch, and this time around we received quite a few pictures, and the one that caught our attention. I watch a lot of Deadliest Catch.
Pun intended.
And,
The one that caught our attention.
I'm like, what? Oh god.
Oh,
His own pun went over his head.
Yeah, that dude. I'm like, what are you
Oh.
talking about?
I guess you could say you fell for that bait. Oh,
Oh! All right,
and
and
so
you could-
funny.
You could say he got hook, line, and sinker.
Oh,
oh god.
He got caught out with that one.
and
in the
and-
Shark Tank.
Oh god. And as we can see, Jingles been. I think, you know, I've been looking at a lot of Deadliest Catch, and they ended with a cliffhanger with a some type of, you know, the biggest storm ever recorded. Obviously, it seems to happen every season on Deadliest Catch. There's the biggest storm ever recorded, and this is not a stormy weather or anything. I haven't seen sharks in it, but I mean, this is deadly. I feel like it looks like a big white shark. Not the one with glasses on, that's actually Jingles, but the one behind him is the big white shark. And he's obviously, as always, he needs to get a sponsorship of, what's it called, selfie sticks? Because I feel he's doing a great job with selfies. Like, he just is the face of selfies, I feel like. And here he is with a big white shark in the background. You know, obviously fishing or something. I have no clue. But it looks nice. From the little I can see of his clothing, it seems that he's dressed up as always. So, go Jingles.
Go, Jingy.
Go Jingy. And if you guys have any pictures, there is still no email to send it to, but you can send a PM to Metagamingtv here on Twitch if you have pictures of Jingles anywhere seen, confirmed or not confirmed, and we'll take a look at that and have that featured on the next episode. And
So we've had him in space. We've had him catching sharks. Where will Jingles be next?
dude, I have no idea. That's gonna be interesting.
Strip show.
We've had him. What?
The strip club. We haven't seen him in the strip club. Yeah. What?
Now we were just discussing like you us dropping half. Could you imagine if Jingles was half naked? I mean, that dude isn't exactly in great shape.
No.
He's in great shape.
No.
He's in a great shape.
That pun was terrible.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just used to round is a shape, but that's
That pun was sinking fast.
like
Uh,
dang it.
let me do the puns from now on.
Alright, Adam is now the pun master. I will be
I
the
am.
Padawan.
I am the master of puns. They don't call me the Archbishop of Bantersbury for nothing.
Round is a shape too. There we go, Predator, backing me up. Thank you. Thank you.
Round is a sh-
That's what I was saying.
Alright. what were we talking about?
We're talking about good things War Thunder does, happy thoughts, control settings. So I'm thinking, I feel like at least 50% of this podcast knows a lot about control settings, because I feel it's
Hang on a
obviously...
minute.
Oh, hang on a minute, you arcade struggler.
Hang on a minute.
You just need, what is it, AWSD and point and click.
Oh, that burns. What about the poor PlayStation players?
Oh, and J. You need to hold J
Oh,
for
yeah.
4 seconds.
Me and my PlayStation brethren. Sure, we might not see eye to eye, but me and the PlayStation guys, we're alike. There's a lot of us in arcade. You know, I gotta stand by them. They get their control schemes too.
There's a lot of them
They get
in
their
Simulator.
fancy mouse. There is also quite a few of them in Sim, but I feel like arcade is where most of them hang out.
So how is it to if you play Sim, how much do you need to rebind to make that a decent experience? Like, because all I know is that you go into control settings and there's just a shit ton of control settings. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
David?
the way I do it is just delete all the commands first and then just re-add the stuff I need.
All right.
But I don't really need all the stuff. So like, there's even buttons for lights and cockpits and
Really?
yeah, and open the cockpit and there's really a lot of stuff.
But that's a good
for
thing,
basic
right?
flying, you don't. Yeah, it's cool.
I would be
mean,
sitting there turning on off the lights all the time, like clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, I think they don't work at the moment.
Oh,
but
They work on
they
night
broke
maps.
the lights.
oh, they work. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has to be a night map though.
Yeah, but yeah, that's again some goodies. Also, the openable cockpit is really a cool thing.
How do you use
But,
that in Sim? Like, is that really like how it feels like a flashy thing? It's more like, hey, we made it so you can open the cockpit, but it doesn't
The con
Yeah.
of it is you can't put your head out
Yeah.
of the cockpit, but the pro of it is if it's a rainy map, opening up the cockpit, your visibility is much better because the rain's not splashing against the glass.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
But Pax, can you open it while flying?
Yes, you can. You have to be
normally,
going. You have to be going at a slower speed,
Yeah.
and if you try to close it while going at a fast speed, you won't be able to close it.
Oh, okay.
It's
Interesting.
too hard. Too much wind resistance.
I think you can also break it, can't you?
I don't know about that.
I think I broke it in the glass. I think smashed or something happened because I was flying it in. Might have been RB. It was the first day it came out. It was in the Vampire. All of a sudden, I just heard this smash as I opened it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I closed it, but I could still hear the wind whistling. So I don't know. I've never tried it again because I had to rebind keys. Like I figured out that I was trying to do Shift and E or Shift and D to try and get the rudder and elevators to go at the same time. I was doing a loop and it wasn't doing anything. And then when I looked at my keys, it was because it was bound. Shift and D or Shift and E was bound to goddamn opening cockpits. Well, no, it's pointless. So it was jamming it. So I unbound it, and so ever since then I haven't really tested it. So I think it can break.
But yeah, control.
I like that.
A lot
I
of
like-
customization of controls. You can export the files, I think, which pretty much
Yeah,
means
good
like
stuff.
you could technically like, here's my control scheme for this and this said joystick, and you can post them and people can download them and use the exact same. You can take it with you to friends, and you can send it to friends and all that good stuff. Like I like that. Like I'm actually kind of blown away by the fact that more game does not do that. Like it's such a simple thing. I feel like it's a simple thing because the controls is saved in a file somewhere. What if more games actually did that? It would have been cool. It would have been nice, especially when it comes to competitive scene in other games at least, where competitors go to offline tournaments and they want to bring their own control schemes, right? Just a thought.
But a lot of games don't offer such a variety, like
Yeah.
particularly on say consoles. Like a game I quite enjoyed was Halo, and you could only have so many different. Like it gave you a wide variety, but it wasn't. You couldn't like customize it to your own needs. Like you always had this preset.
Not just selection, but also inputs of what you can use to even play the game. You can play the game with a guitar, a Wacom tablet, Xbox controller.
Didn't you say,
Anything.
Classy, before that you actually played War Thunder on a
With a
Wacom
Wacom
tablet?
A Wacom tablet, yeah.
Wait, is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's those digital pads, the pen. It's like
one of
illustrating.
those?
It's
Yeah.
one of those Wicked Mouse ones.
Yeah, I got a sim kill with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got
I've seen
wait,
somebody
you got a
play
kill with it?
StarCraft with one of those.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
sure, it
did.
sounds fun and what do you say, like, well, geeky, I
know,
guess.
and then since it is multi-platform, like you play against other people on different platforms, like guys on consoles, stuff like that. You can input an Xbox controller, PlayStation 4 controller onto PC as well if you wish. Keybind it all up. The guy top of the leaderboards for time in the game, Coda, flew like over a year with an Xbox controller.
Oh, he doesn't do that anymore?
Dominated.
That's
No, he
moving-
bought a joystick finally.
Ah, why? He was so good with the
he-
controller.
He was getting into different. He was gonna be getting into different sim games as well.
Ah,
So you just might as well take the plunge. And
yep.
you bought an entry level T1600M. It's a great little stick. You don't need to put a lot of money into
Which
it.
one did he buy?
Thrustmaster T16000M or whatever it's
Oh,
called.
yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good thing about the controller setup is also with the file. I mean, you can Google Coda's setup, and you find it. And also for my joystick, the X52, I found a profile from, I think it's somehow Glow Dark or something like that. And it just makes things really way easier for the start.
And on
you
the
don't-
forums, there's a guy named Orange Doom who sets up a complete thing on how to get mousers into sim, mouse aimers. A really good setup for flying in sim with mouse.
They're already linked
Tons of options.
Coda's stick in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they linked the joystick. Oh, I thought there was settings.
Yeah, Coda's. Oh.
Thanks, Banfisk.
Thanks, Banfisk.
Banfisk.
Yes, you're the bestest in the world.
No, he's banned from GTA because he's the mod. So now we call him Bandfisk instead of Buttfisk. So
Oh.
He cheated.
no, he didn't. Anyways, no, he didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, he did.
So it's not cheating. Rolling back an old patch that was before PC was released just to buy stuff that isn't available in the game anymore. According to Rockstar, that's cheating at least. All right.
Anyways,
That has nothing to do with this, but it's still funny.
I'm not lost where we're talking about. Oh yeah, control schemes.
Control schemes.
And
So
then-
how important
I mean-
are they in arcade then?
Well, not as important as in Sim. However, if you were pushing it, you can customize it just as much as you can in Sim. But I mean, you don't need to. Like they can have like you can even control if your radiator is open or closed.
Yeah.
Like you can tweak
I haven't even seen that.
fuel intake and fuel chemicals. Like you can do every little detail that you could ever want. But you
I
want to
see the arcade player do that. Like, oh well.
I don't think it works. It works in RB. Like you can close the radiator, and it will obviously make you go faster. But you're obviously heat up. But it. Like I don't know how deep it truly goes. However, if you wanted to push and just sort of have a laugh, you could just take your arcade control scheme into Sim. Because you have all the basics you would need. You have the ignition, flaps, and you can use the mouse to kind of move. Now there are a few people who do it. Like, I tried to do it at PAX, but my thing crashed. But I have given it a go, and I've had a few kills with it. Like it was one of those Battle of Britain events where it was Germany was coming to bomb Britain, and you were in hurricanes and Spitfires, and you had to fly up and go and stop them. So I did it with that, and that was pretty good fun. I mean, it wasn't easy because you had this really weird sort of circle thing you had to try and figure out if it's up or down, left or right. But you can do it. Like it's not like if you just wanted to see what it was like, you could do it. Like you kind of have to get used to it. I would recommend probably test flying it and doing the tutorial, and giving it a go, landing and taking off, and sort of shooting down people and shooting objects and things. But it is plausible. I don't know how many people really do it, but it's not. There's nothing sort of stopping you.
But overall, War Thunder does a great job with controls compared to many other games. Awesome. War Thunder also, as we talked on I'm starting to forget an earlier episode where we were talking about other things. We talked about The fact that War Thunder can run on a potato, as well as on a toaster, as well as on a very, very good PC. That's still a good thing. That's a really good thing. Like, that's one of the things I think. I mean, when we talked about it, we were talking about, you know, how the spectrum was so wide that maybe it was hindering certain progress and certain development and certain things we wanted. But on the other side, the flip coin of that is still that you can have any freaking setup or PC, you know, that still freaking runs, and you probably can play War Thunder. Because it allows you to play on such low... what do you call it? Low settings that your hardware can keep up, and that's a good thing. That's a really cool thing, I think. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, also even
Accessibility,
if
I
you,
guess.
yeah, that's one point, and even if you're running on ultra or movie settings, it's still quite easy for the computer.
I mean, I have no problem running it. I mean, I have quite a high end machine, so I mean, running most things on Macs isn't much of a problem. So I have to agree. Like even Max movie, it makes the game look silly pretty.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
The only downside to having awesome cool graphics, like I feel like the reason I don't have it on Max is not only do I stream, so it kind of gets a little salty, especially when you start flying towards the ground. With ground battles going on, it kind of goes, and it kind of isn't too sure what it wants to do, and it goes, oh, you're in a ground battle now, so I have to render all these tanks. Have fun with that. So it gets a little upset. But other than that, it's pretty stable, and I do really enjoy it. But I also don't like having it on Max because I feel that sometimes, while it doesn't always happen, I feel like I get much higher, steadier frames, obviously on lower graphic settings. So I also like it that way because I can kind of keep, because you obviously don't want it lagging all the time, but having that option is great. But I like having it on kind of max.
I think in tooltips they say if you put it on movie settings, they're like, this is for recording videos, like, only, or something like that. They don't even recommend you to play it on movie setting, like the default movie setup. They recommend you to not to do that.
Yeah, this game is like intense. I mean, I got a good example of this. Like my computer here at home, when I do my streaming stuff like that, I run it like high-ish, medium-ish on with 2K resolution for streaming. But if I'm not streaming, I'm playing with my buddies, I'll just crank it right up to 4K resolution and play with guys in that resolution mode.
Okay.
And then I also have the game installed on my work computer. Now my work computer is a Windows XP, no graphics card, no sound card, no like
Wait,
sound.
no graphic card even? So it's integrated?
Like integrated. I mean, This is like a little Dell Office computer, right? I mean, it's bare minimum. It runs Word pretty fast.
Whoa! In 3D.
Now I can play War Thunder on ultra low 1280 by 720 windowed type of thing. With sound disabled, old graphics card support, and I can run that around 43 frames a second.
That's just weird.
So I can go from something you pick up at Staples for an office computer that's meant to run nothing but Excel and Word and play War Thunder right up to 4K 60 frames a second, buttery smooth, graphically awesome gameplay. Now, name another game
that does that.
I mean, like,
wow,
its difference between graphical settings is astronomical. Obviously, there are some things going on with like setting gaps, like when it comes to foliage and stuff like that. There's some issues that they have to iron out, and we've talked about this before in good length. But as
it's
it
a
were
strong
sits,
point.
It's amazing how far what they can do. Absolutely astounding. Yep. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. I'm trying to come up with what to follow up that on, but I feel that kind of solidifies the fact that at least as how War Thunder looks right now and how it is right now, with allowing
and they're going back and updating things. Like they've redone the IL-2s, redone the Yak-9 models, redone the cockpits on some of these planes. They're starting to go back with a lot of these really old school stuff, or the stuff that came from the older game that they made before, and they're revamping it, up in the poly counts and stuff like that, trying to keep it up with the times. I mean, I hope they do that with Nigel and stuff like that. The guys in the planes, because their player models their player models are getting dated. Like the tank crew guys look amazing, and some of the player model guys look like they came from Half-Life 1. I mean, so
Yeah, aren't the first 3D models from like Wings of something? So the game Gaijin made.
yeah, I think
First.
so. Yeah,
Because the skins work too for those models, except Yak 9 now. But
except Yak 9. Yeah.
90.
Yeah, because they have to reskin them. Yeah.
Alrighty. Anything else you guys feel is a highlight of what War Thunder does good?
The Skinner community.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. How
Yeah,
can
the
we forget
user
this?
skins. Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not even think about that.
And
How
the
big-
incentive program they have for them, like if they meet some certain standards, they can go into the game and they can get money off of it. A cut.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, only for historical skins. Even though I still want to see some unhistorical, but that's me. I want to have the colorful stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately that won't fly in all game modes. As much as I'd love to see Hello Kitty, B-17s, I'm gonna pass.
God dang it! Arrgh.
But how easy would that be to see though for you?
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
That's the point.
Hey, look, there's Hello Kitty.
Happy
Kill it.
No. Yeah, they won't want you to see them, but that's a different topic. Happy thoughts. So.
but it's a good it falls in with the whole skinning thing though. Like, I mean, in the sense that, oh yeah, we don't need to go into detail of what they should allow and not allow in game, but I mean, at least they have the good point here is they have user skins. I think League of Legends does this too, where you can skin the game, but it's only you who can see it. So you can have your custom skins, your user skins. Which is pretty awesome. Somebody just already linked, the glorious H6K anime skins. So, whatever your taste is, there's a lot of anime freaking skins for this game, I gotta say. But yeah, for anybody who's watching or listening and you don't know where to go, it's live.warthunder.com. And there, it's under camouflages mostly, where you'll find skins that, there are some amazing artists and people out there who makes all sorts of cool skins based on all different kinds of things. You'll have historically accurate skins, and you'll obviously have all the not at all historically accurate, like we said, anime skins, or like the thing that came here, Nyan Cat Jet Flame, works for all jets. Install instructions included with download. So the jet
And even
flame
the
out of the
rainbow
jet
exhaust,
has the
yeah.
rainbow colors. You can have that if you want.
You can even reskin your airplanes to look like the ponies. No, all of them, but the ME163 when they did the ponies
Yeah.
for the April Fools.
Yeah.
That's obviously what it's based on. You can actually change something to make it look like the ponies. It'll obviously only be for you, but you can actually have it so it looks like the ponies.
Or the
Oh,
one I
yeah.
just posted in.
Done.
And also add whole 3D models.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
You can-
somebody's made an F20, an F16, or an F22, one of the two. I don't know.
How do you use those?
It doesn't
though?
really
'Cause
say.
you obviously can't play them in.
Speaking of Nigel, if you actually go to that livewarthunder.com into like the custom model section, there's a cutout of Nigel's face. You can make a Nigel face mask.
Wow.
Nigel's face.
Yeah.
Some people are pretty dedicated.
They just took the skin and chopped it out and everything. There you go, Nigel face. These guys have made cockpits for bombers that don't have cockpits yet. You can download a B20, B17, B24, and a different one. What it was, I can't remember what it was. HE111 H11, I think it is, or H16. There's a cockpit for that too. You can download for people who wanted them. Guys made them, or they were in the game files. Maybe I can't remember exactly the story behind it, but if you want them, you can get them. They're kind of
think-
rough, but they're there.
I think you're right. I think it's a little bit mix of both. Like I think they're in there and they've kind of just tweaked it so it's usable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the coolest thing about it is that people are starting, and it would be cool to see War Thunder go. Do you know these guys like? like, okay, so they're not HD models. Like, if they were probably HD, properly working, do they work? Like, do the dials change and stuff, or
Well,
is it
yeah,
literally just?
they hashed in some dials so that you have some.
So it does. So it does speed, altitude, all the things you need.
Yep.
Okay, so all they would need to do is kind of up the fidelity, and bam.
Well, I would probably go in through and rehash them a bit, but
I mean, you know,
yeah, they work. They work. Yeah, they work.
It's I mean, this is a little bit of an extreme example, but Star Citizen did like a make a ship competition, and they started off.
That's different.
I know, but it was kind of cool to see how but Star Citizen then went, well, we know you guys aren't pros. We'll get some of our guys to give you. No, when they were no, hear me out. So they started off and they were like a small. Some of these guys were like 2 or 3 man teams. They started off from concept and then they got into the building of the ship, and then they were like, all right, so we're gonna now give you like one of our dev guys to give you a hand to get it up to the standard that we expect in our game. So it would be quite cool to see War Thunder go, you know what, we like what you're doing with these. Let's finish it. Let's help you guys finish it, and we'll get some of these into the game.
Saying, yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Like, I don't know where you thought I was going.
Yeah, I don't know, but because that was like a big marketing thing to make a reality show.
Well,
competition thing, and a lot of the guys that are working on that thing were actually very talented.
Oh no,
a couple of them were in the industry and stuff like that. I mean, it'd be neat. It would be neat if they did something of where you could start incentivizing people to make actual planes, but they need to do a little bit of work on their development end, development kits to get in on the back end of the game, the game development, and be able to actually like have the proper tools to make the content for the game, because right now the CDK it's more map oriented than model oriented. There's not like good structure for actually building custom units compared to making missions and maps. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, that I have seen people make custom maps though. Like I've seen people make like V12 rockets, or not V12, V2. V2 rockets, yeah. And I saw somebody have like 50 of them just flying around having a good time. They weren't doing anything, but it's just like it was just a custom mission. So I mean that CDK can do some pretty cool stuff. Like, you know, if you can get a V2 rocket strapped in there, then imagine what crazy shenaniganry you could get up to. You just gotta know how to use it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve. And it's not intuitive, and it's also done in a different country, so there's also language barriers in some things. But
oh, really?
Nonetheless, it's even cooler they even let you have the option to even do that. A lot of games these days don't even let you modify it.
All right.
Yeah, and just, it's really easy to get into skinning. I mean, you can even skin it with paint.
Really?
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. But
okay, then that's easy.
But yeah, even if you want to make something good, you can use GIMP. It's also a freeware program.
I think there's a lot of tutorials about that.
Yeah, and it works great. And the stuff is so easy in War Thunder. You just have like a skin file and another skin file which does the reflective things. And it's once you read the stuff about it, there are a lot of posts in the forums. Once you read that, you know what to do to make the skin look good.
Yeah.
That's true. I think the guy making a lot of the skins that is associated with the metagaming community here, Danish Bacon, his name is, he hadn't done any skinning or anything before he started doing skins in War Thunder, and he just went off tutorials and guides and picked it up, you know? So
yeah,
that's definitely something you can do if you really want to do it. If you're, I guess it's like a lot of things if you're interested, but it definitely for War Thunder, it doesn't have that high skill threshold or whatever you want to call it. Like, you don't have to be, it's quite easy to get into how to do skins. Then obviously it gets down to, are you talented enough to make amazing skins, but that's a whole different thing. I think that's a really good...
They go up to 8K now, don't they?
8K? Holy shit.
They've been super sampling them up to 8K now, yeah.
Like,
Because
like-
you need that.
hey, when you want every bolt,
I play in 4K.
Yeah, you
When
do,
you-
but
Right.
8K. Like, all right.
when
and-
you want every
and
single
Spagooter-
bolt.
And Spagooter made the 4K DDS cockpit for the Focke-Wulf 190A5, and it is a sight to see. It is absolutely gorgeous.
So you skinned the cockpit.
It's totally worth it. Yeah, skin the cockpit.
Wow.
Yeah, you can skin everything. You can even
Everything.
skin the
I've seen
glass.
those
There's
do
with
it.
there's certain things you can't alter, like there's certain things you can't alter because they're like locked for
Yeah.
alteration within main queue stuff. But
Yeah, that's right.
like gauges and the player models and stuff like that, you can't really access too much. But everything else is just free game in the sense when it comes to what you can do.
Yeah, some
Customization by
cockpit
texture.
modes, are also locked. I tried to remove the headrest on the 109 F4 because it was historical doable.
Right.
If you remove the skin, it's just a black part. It just like reskins it with black paint. So I think they somehow made it that people can't like cheat. But yeah.
All right. That's nice. I guess. I wanted to, if everybody could see the skins you could make, like if you make like super chromey, like I mean, theoretically you could make your plane invisible, like stealth. Like you could just be like, well, here's a chromey skin, if you fly into the clouds, the lighting will make it so you can't see the damn plane. I actually have a user skin that's so shiny that I bring it into like cloudy weather, it just disappears. It just like, bloop, gone. It is so funny. Yeah, it is like that. It's like that, because the lighting in the game makes it so that it just mirrors all the clouds around it, so it just disappears. It's kind of funny. It wasn't supposed to do that, but it
jeez.
just accidentally did. Because it was so chromy or shiny.
Super camo plane.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
See, that's where they need us in World War II. We'll just put chrome on all our planes. Can't
No,
be
there
seen
was
in
a-
clouds.
Who made one? It was for the I-185, the Russian one. Someone made a Naboo fighter skin,
Yeah.
and it had that ridiculous shiny chrome to it too. It actually looked really good.
Somebody did it with the Horton too, because I
Yeah?
had it before. Yeah, I had it before I had to I got a new computer, and that was amazing. Seeing that thing in Chrome was tip top. I'm tempted to try and find it again just so I can strap it on. It is shiny, and you will blind yourself multiple times going towards suns, but it is so worth seeing in your hangar. This super shiny Chrome machine. It's just like, man, if this thing was really like that, it'd be unstoppable.
It would be unstoppable. I can
You just
see!
blind people as you fly towards them. It'd just be like, yep, I can see perfectly fine. The entire enemy team's just like, get it out of my face.
That's hilarious. Alrighty then.
That's why skins don't actually work. Other than
mean-
people would just draw stupid stuff on them.
Yeah. I think this is a good place then to wrap it up. Unless somebody has anything more they want to add to this whole thing, to all the happy thoughts. I take the silence as a no.
It's a good game for no money. That's
It is
about
a good game for no money. That's
Yeah, it's alright.
That's a great line. They should quote you in like sales ads. War Thunder.
Yeah, it was alright.
War Thunder.
Sales and no money are two words that really don't go together.
like War Thunder, a good game for no money.
I gotta say, I was reading some of the Steam reviews, and it was pretty funny. Like this one, somebody had like nearly 2,000 hours, and they're like, "Yeah, I played it for a bit. It's alright." It's like, yeah, alright.
That's the one that gets the most likes. Like, I played it for a bit. It's alright.
It hasn't got the most likes, but Ekirk, I think one of your reviews is up there, and I think it's something similar. It's like, yeah, 10 out of 10 would play again. It's just like, I don't remember exactly. I was kind of just skim reading.
It
But
seems like if
I
you're
think-
the first, like one of the very, very first to review a game on Steam, and you make a fun comment, everybody will just like it. Like, you'll have that there forever. It seems to be a thing. People seem to compete about that. Anyway. That will be it then. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week with more of everything. Classypax, you guys can find him over at twitch.tv/Classypax. You're doing, what's it called? The teaching simulator gameplay thing tomorrow, right?
Learning Sim Sundays,
Learning
GMT -7 at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. GMT -7.
Yeah,
There you
Mountain
go,
Time.
guys.
And
Mountain
so,
time.
what will be going on tomorrow? I know you did the IL2 last week.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing this week?
It was supposed to be HUD, but that came back, so not going to be HUD.
It was.
So I don't know yet. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a surprise.
A surprise.
Surprise.
That'll be good. All right. So if you want to learn
Yeah.
to play Sim, go to that tomorrow, guys. Go follow twitch.tv/Classypax. And thank you, AverageAdam, who you guys can see streaming every now and then, quite often, here on Metagamingtv.
Every now and then, quite often.
Every now and then, quite often. Usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Ecoke, thank you for being today's guest. You guys can find him over
No
at
problem, man.
twitch.tv/ecoke. You had a schedule, right? You play every day?
No, I play on Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 11 at Central European Summertime.
Central European.
Summertime!
That's awesome. So go follow him, guys, if you want to watch even more Sim gameplay, which is what he does. And I'm Scream112. I will be here maybe later tonight creating wrestlers. Otherwise, I'll be here tomorrow playing War Thunder for probably some 8 hours, starting at... When the hell did we start? We start at... Shit, I don't even know.
Good job.
It's 5 p.m. Central European time. That's 3 p.m. GMT. That's 3 p.m. GMT. All right. So you guys have all those options for what to do. Have a good weekend, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Howdy ho.